Welcome to Documents to Sleep. Tonight, we travel far back, far beyond human memory, to a world untouched by our kind. A world of immense beauty, quiet grandeur, and timeless life. The Jurassic Earth. Imagine opening your eyes to a dawn that has existed for millions of years. A soft golden light brushing across towering forests, drifting through thick, damp mists that curl around the trunks of ferns and cycads. Every leaf glistens with droplets, hanging like fragile gems, capturing the pale, tender sunlight. The ground is cool and damp beneath your feet, scented faintly with the richness of soil, fallen leaves, and the distant tang of ancient seas. The morning is slow, deliberate, measured in rhythms older than human thought. Tiny creatures begin to stir in the undergrowth. Insects, larger than any we know today, flit softly among the ferns, their wings catching the sun in shimmering patterns. Small mammal-like reptiles dart carefully across the forest floor, seeking insects or fallen fruits. Their movements are precise, almost whisper-like, perfectly adapted to survive in a world that demands alertness and patience. Above you, the colossal trees of this ancient forest stretch high, their fronds brushing the pale blue sky. The air is humid and rich, carrying the scent of vegetation, minerals, and distant salt from oceans far beyond the horizon. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves, setting them into motion, creating a chorus of soft rustles, a subtle symphony to accompany the awakening of life around you. Amid the stillness, the first dinosaurs of the day begin to move. Ornithopods tiptoe through the undergrowth, their eyes alert, their small, delicate forms almost invisible among the ferns. Occasionally, one pauses to nibble on a young shoot or a tender leaf, standing on hind legs, stretching gracefully to reach the choicest vegetation. The massive sauropods, Brachiosaurus perhaps or Camarasaurus, move steadily and deliberately, their long necks sweeping in arcs as they browse on the tallest branches. Every step is careful, measured, almost ceremonial. Shadows stretch across the forest floor, long and soft, cast by the enormous forms of these gentle giants. Listen closely. The forest speaks in soft, subtle tones. The faint crack of a breaking branch, the whisper of wind over leaves, the distant low call of a reptile you cannot see, these sounds form a delicate, intricate symphony of life. This is a world without human interference, without machines or voices. Every noise is part of a natural rhythm that has existed for millions of years. The air itself seems alive, vibrating softly with the combined movements of countless tiny organisms. As the morning unfolds, rivers begin to reveal their surfaces, shimmering gently under the rising sun. Tiny fish, some no larger than a human finger, dart through shallow waters, catching glimmers of light on their scales. Along the banks, amphibians stir, moving with caution, sometimes diving swiftly into the water when shadows approach. Water droplets fall from overhanging ferns, striking the surface with soft plinks, echoing faintly across the still air. This delicate soundscape is repeated across countless rivers, streams, and ponds, a rhythm of life constant yet ever-changing. Notice the light. Dawn creeps slowly across the forest floor, casting long, golden streaks through the mist. It brushes the scales of a distant stegosaurus, highlighting the subtle plates along its back, a gentle reminder of nature's artistry. Insects pause mid-flight, caught in the gentle warmth of sunlight, their wings reflecting the soft glow. The forest breathes as one organism, each tree, fern, and animal part of a living whole. Along the edges of the forest, the first sounds of waterfowl-like creatures begin to echo, strange, reptilian birds or pterosaur-like beings, stretching their wings as they prepare to take flight. Their calls are faint but distinct, weaving into the orchestra of sound that defines the Jurassic morning. Small mammals scurry through the undergrowth, cautious but curious, feeling the subtle vibrations of the earth beneath their paws. Each creature knows its place, every movement precise, each sound carefully timed in a world that has no rush, only balance. The continents themselves are slowly drifting. Pangaea, once a vast unified landmass, is breaking apart, shaping seas, rivers, and mountains. The Jurassic Earth is not static. It is alive, constantly reshaping itself. Mountains rise slowly, their peaks piercing clouds, ancient volcanoes puffing gentle smoke into the sky, reminders that the earth breathes, moves, and grows. The sun climbs higher, warming the land, drawing scents from soil and foliage, carrying the distant whisper of salt from oceans unseen. As the day continues to wake, predators begin to stir quietly, shadows moving at the edge of vision. Allosaurus, perhaps, or Ceratosaurus, prowling slowly, observing, learning, waiting. But this is not a world of fear. It is a world of natural rhythm. Every predator and prey is part of a vast network, each playing a role in the continuation of life. The forest absorbs every movement, every sound, every breath, weaving them into a story older than imagination. Listen again to the subtle melodies. The distant gurgle of a stream, the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle crackle of insects moving across the forest floor. The wind flows through the branches in whispered currents, carrying scents and sounds alike, wrapping the forest in a cocoon of calm, rhythmic life. You can almost feel the pulse of the planet itself, beating slowly, deliberately, like a heart that has known only existence, never ending. The morning sunlight continues to filter through the canopy, highlighting the delicate structure of leaves, the veins on fern fronds, the rough bark of ancient trees. Each element reflects light differently, creating a mosaic of color, deep green, gold, and subtle shades of brown, interspersed with the glint of water droplets like tiny stars scattered across the forest floor. Insects pause to drink, amphibians move stealthily, and dinosaurs continue their slow, deliberate movements, entirely unaware of your quiet observation. Now imagine walking along the banks of a winding river. The water is crystal clear, revealing smooth stones and small plants beneath its surface. Tiny fish dart to avoid your shadow. Along the bank, ferns and cycads grow thickly, their roots dipping into the water, stabilizing the soil and providing shelter for countless small creatures. Early reptiles bask in the sunlight, their scales absorbing warmth, their eyes alert, yet calm, as if they are aware of the slow rhythm of the day and follow it without haste. As the sun rises higher, the first pterosaurs take flight. Their wings stretch gracefully, casting fleeting shadows across the forest floor. They call to one another in high, melodious tones, their cries echoing faintly through the trees. Insects rise in clouds, catching the sunlight in transient patterns of brilliance. Every detail is a testament to the complexity and harmony of this prehistoric morning, a morning untouched by human hands, a morning that has existed for millions of years. And as you move silently, observing this waking world, notice the subtle interactions. A small herbivore nibbling on a leaf just as a larger one steps carefully nearby. A fish flicking its tail in the shallow water, sending ripples across the river's surface. A distant roar that travels through the forest but causes no panic, only awareness. Life moves with a purpose, steady, natural, and profound. Take a deep breath. Feel the cool humidity, smell the richness of soil and vegetation, hear the quiet symphony of insects, birds, reptiles, and distant creatures. The Jurassic Earth is waking slowly, deliberately, rhythmically. You are here to witness it, to drift with it, to become a quiet part of this ancient, eternal morning. Every sound, every movement, every whisper of wind is a story older than memory, yet alive, present, and breathing. Notice the mountains in the distance, their peaks rising like silent guardians of this world. Volcanoes in the far horizon puff gentle clouds of smoke, a reminder of Earth's constant motion. Rivers and streams shimmer with reflected sunlight, each ripple a subtle movement, part of the continuous, unending life of this time. The forest itself seems to sway with the rhythm of its inhabitants, leaves, animals, water, wind, all moving in a timeless dance, unseen yet profoundly alive. Now allow your thoughts to slow. Imagine the delicate details. A dragonfly skimming over a pool, a fern unrolling its new frond, a small reptile pausing mid-step to survey its surroundings. Hear the soft, distant calls of larger dinosaurs moving through the trees, the occasional splash of a fish leaping from water. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the gentle caress of the breeze, the coolness of damp soil beneath your feet. The forest breathes in unison with every living being within it. Every leaf, every branch, every creature contributes to the soft, perpetual rhythm of life. The morning grows, unfolding slowly, deliberately, yet the pace feels unhurried, eternal, and deeply calming. You are not simply observing, you are absorbing the life, the patterns, the quiet symphony of this prehistoric world. And as the morning continues to unfold, the Jurassic Earth reveals more of its secrets. Insects continue their delicate flights, mammals dart carefully through shadows, dinosaurs graze and wander. The rivers flow steadily, carrying nutrients, scents, and subtle sounds across the landscape. The sun rises higher, illuminating distant hills and valleys, drawing warmth from the earth and sending it into the veins of every living creature. Now pause and listen. The forest hums softly, a combination of wind, water, life, and time itself. Each sound is distinct yet intertwined, creating a meditation in itself. The earth here is older than thought, more patient than imagination, more alive than any moment we know. And you are here quietly drifting through this morning, part of a world untouched by humanity, yet full of consciousness, motion, and delicate, profound beauty. The morning unfolds into a full golden day. The sun climbs higher, casting light across the Jurassic forest in brilliant beams that pierce the canopy. Each tree stands tall, a sentinel of time, draped in moss and ferns that have thrived here for millions of years. The forest floor is a mosaic of shadows and light, the sun catching droplets of dew still clinging to leaves and fronds. This is a world untouched by human hands, alive in its own rhythm, ancient yet vibrant. You wander quietly, listening to the gentle chorus of life around you. The soft rustle of ferns, the subtle murmur of water flowing in hidden streams, the distant calls of creatures both large and small. Each sound weaves into a symphony older than thought. The air is thick and humid, carrying the faint scent of vegetation, soil, and the distant tang of prehistoric seas. Every breath you take is imbued with the essence of a world millions of years old, alive in every molecule, every leaf, every ripple of water. As you move through the undergrowth, notice the plants. Towering cycads and conifers rise like ancient pillars, their trunks rough and textured, bark peeling in patches to reveal pale inner wood. Ferns carpet the ground, their fronds unfurling slowly in delicate spirals. Each plant is a master of survival, perfectly adapted to this warm, humid climate. Beneath the surface, roots tangle and spread, drawing moisture and nutrients, stabilizing the soil and providing shelter for countless small creatures. Among the plants, life stirs in endless variety. Small ornithopods move cautiously, nibbling tender shoots or pausing to listen for predators. Their movements are deliberate, careful, a study in balance and awareness. Occasionally, a group of stegosaurs emerges into a sunlit clearing, their armored backs glinting faintly in the sunlight. They move slowly, methodically, grazing on low-lying plants, unconcerned by the quiet observer passing nearby. Above, pterosaurs glide gracefully between trees, their wings catching the sunlight, casting fleeting shadows on the ground below. Their calls are soft, almost musical, echoing faintly through the forest. Insects of every imaginable size flit among the foliage, their wings shimmering in the light. Some are enormous, their bodies spanning several inches, buzzing softly as they search for nectar or prey. Now pause for a moment and consider the scale of this world. Trees taller than any modern giant tower above you, their fronds forming a dense canopy that filters sunlight into soft, dappled patterns. Every movement is measured, deliberate, part of a rhythm that has persisted for millions of years. The forest is alive with subtle energy, not frantic, not chaotic, but calm, steady, and profoundly connected. In a nearby clearing, a herd of sauropods moves slowly, their massive legs pressing gently into the soil. You can feel the tremor of each step through the ground, subtle yet undeniable. They feed together in harmony, their long necks stretching toward the highest leaves, their tails swaying like pendulums behind them. Occasionally, one pauses to look around, its deep eyes observing the surroundings with quiet intelligence. Alongside these giants, smaller creatures carry on unnoticed. Mammal-like reptiles dart through shadows, pausing only to glance upward, alert to every sound. Insects crawl along trunks, climb fronds, and hover near flowers. Amphibians move cautiously near water pools, their smooth skin glistening in the sunlight. Life exists here on every scale, from the tiniest beetle to the largest dinosaur, each organism part of an intricate, interconnected web. The rivers and streams continue to flow, their surfaces shimmering under the sun. Tiny fish dart beneath the water, their scales flashing like scattered jewels. Crustaceans move along the riverbed, stirring sediment and shaping the landscape in subtle ways. Along the banks, cycads and ferns form natural shelters, protecting countless creatures from predators. The water carries the sounds of life, mixing with the hum of insects, the rustle of leaves, and the distant calls of larger animals. As the day progresses, the sun rises higher, warming the forest and creating pockets of light that dance across leaves, trunks, and soil. This is a world of endless discovery. Each step reveals something new: a hidden nest of eggs, a small dinosaur feeding cautiously, a cluster of insects moving with synchronized precision. The air vibrates subtly with the presence of countless lives, each organism contributing to the rhythm of the day. Notice the predators. They move silently, blending seamlessly with their surroundings. Allosaurus may roam in the distance, scanning the forest for opportunity. Yet even they follow the rules of this world, measured, deliberate, and perfectly adapted to their environment. Their presence does not create panic. It adds to the balance of life, a reminder that every creature plays a role in this ecosystem. Above, the sky is vast, endless, and clear. No airplanes, no cities, only blue expanse and drifting clouds. Pterosaurs glide and circle, calling softly, while small arboreal reptiles move among the branches. The sunlight filters through, illuminating leaves and fronds in golden hues, highlighting textures, veins, and subtle colors that reveal the complexity of life around you. In the deeper shadows of the forest, life continues quietly. Insects feed, amphibians move, and reptiles hunt with precision. Each creature knows its place, its role in the unbroken rhythm of life. The forest breathes, a vast organism composed of countless lives intertwined. Each sound, movement, and breath contributes to the symphony of the Jurassic daytime. Now imagine moving closer to a sunlit stream. The water is clear and cool, reflecting the towering ferns and cycads along the banks. Tiny fish flicker, avoiding shadows. Amphibians pause to observe. Insects hover near the water surface, their delicate wings catching the sunlight. A small dinosaur approaches to drink, its movements careful, deliberate, blending seamlessly into the scene. The sunlight reflects off its scales, casting a warm glow across the water. The forest is a study in motion and stillness simultaneously. Every creature moves with purpose, yet the overall rhythm is gentle, calm, hypnotic. You can feel it in the air, the soil, the flowing water, the rustling leaves, a timeless pulse that has existed for millions of years. This is the heartbeat of the Jurassic Earth, steady, enduring, eternal. Take a slow breath. Inhale the warmth of the sunlight, the earthy scent of damp soil, the subtle fragrance of ferns and flowering plants yet to evolve. Listen to the chorus of life: distant calls, rustling leaves, flowing water, insect hums. Let these sounds carry you, immerse you, guide you deeper into this world. The midday sun climbs higher, casting deep shadows and highlighting textures throughout the forest. Large ferns bend slightly under their own weight, cycads sway gently, and massive trees stand as pillars of time. Every living thing moves in harmony with the environment. Dinosaurs graze slowly, birds and pterosaurs wheel overhead, and smaller creatures scuttle through shadows with purposeful precision. The forest is alive in every detail, each leaf, each ripple in the water, each movement contributing to a symphony older than imagination. As you wander further, you notice how interconnected everything is. Predators, prey, plants, insects, water, and sunlight all interact, forming an intricate, self-sustaining system. The Allosaurus observes from the edge of the clearing, but its movement is calm, controlled, deliberate. A herd of sauropods grazes near a stream, unaware of the observer, their long necks stretching gracefully for the freshest leaves. The subtle tremor of their steps resonates through the soil, a reminder of the scale and majesty of these creatures. Nearby, pterosaurs descend toward the water, skimming the surface for fish. Their wings reflect sunlight in brief flashes, shadows dancing on the forest floor. Small mammals dart through shadows, scurrying with care. Amphibians rest along the banks, absorbing warmth and light. Insects continue their constant, quiet work, pollinating, feeding, and moving in endless patterns. Time flows differently here. There is no rush, no urgency, only the steady unfolding of life. The air is warm and humid, filled with the scent of vegetation and soil. Light filters through the canopy, illuminating details invisible to the casual eye. Veins of leaves, tiny insects clinging to stems, scales glinting on dinosaur skin, ripples across the water. Each moment is rich with subtle activity, yet calm, gentle, hypnotic. As the afternoon approaches, the forest becomes a cathedral of life. Sunlight reaches every corner, revealing textures, colors, and movements that tell stories older than memory. Life continues in quiet harmony. You are not just observing, you are part of this world, a silent participant in its timeless rhythm. Take a moment. Close your eyes if you like. Imagine the warmth, the sounds, the gentle movements of countless lives. Let the pulse of this Jurassic daytime guide you, steady and calm, deepening your connection to a world that has existed long before humanity and will endure long after. As the morning fades into noon, the Jurassic forest gradually gives way to vast open spaces. Step carefully onto the edge of a sprawling plain where cycads and ferns thin out, revealing wide stretches of sunlit grass-like plants and low shrubs, stretching as far as the eye can see. Here, the rhythm of life changes subtly. The air is warmer, drier, carrying the faint scent of distant volcanic soil and the occasional tang of salt from far-off seas. The ground underfoot is uneven but firm, imprinted with the subtle footprints of creatures large and small. Each depression tells a story, a sauropod passing through, a herd of stegosaurs grazing, perhaps a small mammal scurrying between the shadows of shrubs. The land is alive, moving silently yet deliberately beneath the weight of countless lives. Look toward the horizon and you can see mountains rising gradually, ancient and majestic. Their peaks pierce the sky, jagged and silent, as if standing guard over this vast prehistoric world. In the distance, faint plumes of smoke drift from dormant volcanoes, evidence of the Earth's constant motion and transformation. The landscape here is a mosaic of plains, hills, and rugged ridges, each with its own ecosystem, each teeming with life. On the plains, herbivorous dinosaurs move gracefully and slow. Coordinated groups, Camptosaurs and Dryosaurus nibble on low shrubs, their movements precise, careful, and uninterrupted by the warmth of the noon sun. Occasionally, a massive Brachiosaurus lifts its long neck to reach higher vegetation, casting immense shadows across the ground, a living testament to scale and power. Every step it takes seems deliberate, part of a measured rhythm that dominates this vast, open world. Predators, too, move silently across the terrain. Allosaurus stalks in the distance, observing herds with calculated patience. Their movement is calm, deliberate, and yet filled with potential energy. They are not chaotic, they are perfectly adapted to this environment, each step measured, each breath controlled. Their presence adds depth to the ecosystem, a reminder that life exists in balance here, predator and prey, hunter and grazed, all part of the natural rhythm. The sunlight is strong, filtering through a thin haze of heat rising from the plains. It glints on the scales of dinosaurs, reflecting patterns unique to each creature. Pterosaurs wheel overhead, their shadows briefly touching the ground below. Insects rise in clouds, their delicate wings catching the light. The air vibrates subtly with life, a gentle, constant hum that soothes even as it energizes. Rivers wind lazily across the plains, creating ribbons of cool water in the otherwise sun-warmed landscape. Fish dart just below the surface, occasionally leaping to catch flying insects. Along the banks, ferns, cycads, and low-lying shrubs provide shelter for small reptiles and amphibians. A distant waterfall cascades down a mountain slope, sending a soft mist across nearby plains. The sound is calming, rhythmic, echoing faintly across hills and valleys. The plains are dotted with occasional trees, their canopies sparse but providing shade for resting animals. Under one such tree, a family of stegosaurs grazes quietly, their armored backs catching the sunlight, reflecting patterns of green and bronze across the ground. They move slowly, methodically, unconcerned by the occasional predatory glance from afar. Their presence adds a sense of calm, stability, and age to the landscape. Mountains rise higher now, their slopes a mixture of rocky cliffs, volcanic soil, and sparse vegetation. Here, the climate changes subtly. Cooler air flows down the ridges, carrying scents of minerals and damp stone. Small dinosaurs scuttle along the slopes, finding safety in crevices and behind boulders. Predators watch from higher vantage points, their eyes scanning the landscape with patience and precision. Notice the interplay of light and shadow across this terrain. Sunlight glances off jagged rocks, dances across streams, and highlights the fine textures of dinosaur skin. Clouds drift lazily across the sky, occasionally casting brief, cooling shadows across the plains. The wind moves gently, stirring dust and small plants, carrying scents and sounds across distances that the eye cannot yet fully take in. Along the edges of valleys, small forests begin to emerge again, pockets of cycads, ferns, and primitive conifers that provide shelter and food. These transitional zones are full of life. Mammals scurry quietly beneath ferns, insects fly in synchronized patterns, amphibians move with soft splashes in hidden pools. Even the tiniest movements contribute to the overall rhythm of this Jurassic afternoon, creating a sense of continuity and harmony. As you walk further, notice the patterns of dinosaur movement. Herds migrate slowly across plains in search of food and water. Sauropods stretch their long necks to browse treetops, their tails swaying like pendulums. Small theropods move cautiously, observing for both prey and danger. Each interaction is delicate yet deliberate, a dance choreographed by millions of years of evolution. The volcanic slopes in the distance hint at the raw energy of the planet. Occasional plumes of smoke rise, reminding all who watch of the Earth's restless, transformative nature. Lava flows may have once carved through valleys, shaping the terrain, leaving behind fertile soil for cycads, ferns, and other plants to grow. Every rock, every slope, every river tells a story older than thought, etched into the landscape itself. Bird-like creatures begin to call, their voices rising softly above the soundscape of the plains. Insects continue their quiet hum, fish dart in shaded pools, and the occasional roar of a distant dinosaur echoes faintly across the hills. The combination of these sounds creates a calming, hypnotic rhythm, the soundtrack of a world entirely alive, yet profoundly peaceful. In valleys where rivers converge, life thrives in concentrated abundance. Fish dart, amphibians leap, and plants flourish, creating microcosms of diversity. Here, a small herd of herbivorous dinosaurs drinks cautiously, alert to the distant movements of predators. Each creature exists in balance, aware yet unhurried, part of a system that has endured for millions of years. As the afternoon sun reaches its peak, shadows short, the heat intensifies and creatures adjust their behavior. Some dinosaurs seek shade, others slow their movements, conserving energy. The forested areas along rivers provide respite, their shaded canopies offering cooler air. Insects descend, birds glide, and water ripples softly, a gentle dance of light, life, and time. Notice how interconnected this landscape is. Mountains, rivers, plains, forests, and all creatures within them form a delicate web. Predators, prey, herbivores, carnivores, insects, fish, and amphibians all move with purpose, their lives intertwined, creating a rhythm that is both soothing and profoundly complex. The earth itself feels alive, its pulse slow but steady, extending through every living being, every rock, every drop of water. Take a moment to breathe. Imagine standing at the edge of a wide plain, mountains towering in the distance, rivers weaving ribbons of silver across the landscape. Hear the subtle calls of distant creatures, the gentle rustle of plants, the soft wind. Let these sensations fill your mind, carrying you deeper into the Jurassic afternoon, where time moves differently, where life unfolds slowly, deliberately, eternally. The light begins to shift subtly as the day progresses, golden rays stretching across plains, highlighting the textures of vegetation, the contours of hills, the shapes of moving creatures. Shadows lengthen, patterns shift, and the heat of midday gives way to the cooler approach of late afternoon. Every detail is alive. A fish flicking in water, the sway of a fern, the glint of sunlight on dinosaur scales. Each movement, each sound, each shimmer contributes to a harmonious, immersive experience. In open plains, herds move in synchrony, their long necks and tails creating patterns of motion that are mesmerizing to observe. Predators, ever watchful, follow at calculated distances, never in haste. Each movement intentional, part of the rhythm of life. The interplay of predator and prey, sun and shadow, water and wind, creates a delicate, hypnotic cadence, perfect for calming the mind and immersing fully in this ancient world. Streams continue to wind across the plains, their waters reflecting mountains and sky. Amphibians move cautiously along banks, reptiles sun themselves on rocks, and insects buzz softly. The gentle murmur of water mingles with distant calls of dinosaurs and birds, forming a natural symphony that lulls the mind, grounding it in the present while simultaneously transporting it millions of years into the past. As you take in the vastness of this landscape, notice the subtle details. The texture of volcanic soil, the pattern of sunlight on leaves, the glint of eyes watching from shadows, the soft ripple of water in shaded pools. Every element contributes to a living tapestry, intricate, vast, and unhurried. You are a quiet observer, yet fully immersed in the pulse of the Jurassic afternoon, attuned to the rhythms of a world older than imagination. The mountains stand tall, silent sentinels, their jagged peaks kissed by sunlight and shadows. Valleys below teem with life. Fish dart in streams, amphibians leap between pools, small dinosaurs scurry beneath shrubs, and larger herbivores move gracefully across open terrain. The earth breathes through every leaf, stone, river, and creature, creating a continuous, timeless rhythm. As the afternoon wanes, notice the shifting light, softening shadows, and lengthening contours. Creatures adjust their behaviors, resting in shade, moving with deliberate care, drinking from streams, or grazing quietly. The landscape hums with life, the symphony of the Jurassic plains continuing unbroken, its tempo gentle, soothing, hypnotic. The afternoon sun glows warmly over the Jurassic Earth, illuminating forests, plains, and distant mountains. And now, beyond the land, your gaze shifts to the oceans. The waters stretch endlessly, vast and unbroken, their surfaces shimmering under the golden rays of a sun suspended high in the sky. The Jurassic seas are a world apart, a realm of slow, deliberate motion, teeming with creatures adapted to life beneath waves that have existed for millions of years. Step closer to the shore. Gentle waves lap against sandy beaches, the salt and spray blending with the warm air of the coast. The sound is soft and rhythmic, a lullaby sung by the planet itself. Tiny crustaceans scuttle across wet sand, leaving delicate tracks that the tide will soon wash away. Insects hover near the edge, interacting with early coastal plants, while small amphibians dart cautiously, navigating the thin boundary between land and sea. Venture into the shallows. The water is clear, revealing the movement of small fish darting gracefully, their scales catching sunlight like scattered jewels. Seaweeds and primitive algae sway gently, forming underwater forests that ripple with the currents. Here and there, ammonites float, their spiral shells glinting in the light, moving with calm, calculated grace. Every movement is precise, perfectly suited to this watery world, yet gentle and hypnotic in its rhythm. Deeper into the ocean, the giants of the Jurassic seas glide silently. Ichthyosaurs cut through the water with fluid precision, their sleek bodies reflecting sunlight as they hunt, breathe, and glide effortlessly through currents. Plesiosaurs extend long, sinuous necks, dipping them into water or rising gracefully to the surface, surveying the world above with quiet intelligence. Each creature moves in harmony with the currents, a testament to millions of years of evolution, fine-tuning life for survival in the vast ocean. Observe the subtle interplay of light beneath the waves. Sunlight filters through the water, creating shafts of gold and green that illuminate coral-like structures, rocky outcrops, and the delicate plants that sway below. Fish flicker in and out of shadows, moving with the rhythm of the sea. Small predators stalk silently, weaving among floating plants, while larger creatures glide above, a calm ballet of motion and awareness. Along the coast, early marine reptiles hunt near tidal pools, their movements deliberate and measured. Fish leap occasionally, casting brief shadows across the sandy bottom. Crustaceans scuttle between rocks and seaweeds, their tiny legs creating delicate ripples in water. The ocean hums softly, each sound subtle but part of the symphony, the movement of waves, the splash of a fish, the swish of a tail, the rustle of underwater plants. The skies above reflect the ocean below. Pterosaurs glide over waves, occasionally diving to snatch fish or simply soaring for the joy of movement. Their shadows glide across the surface, touching water and sand, connecting air and sea in a continuous flow of life. Birds as yet unknown to humans hover or skim near the surface, calling softly, their voices blending with the distant roar of ocean waves breaking against rocks or reefs. Notice the vastness of the marine ecosystem. Reefs of coral-like structures provide shelter for countless small creatures, fish, mollusks, crustaceans, and early cephalopods. Predators move cautiously, aware of the abundance around them but taking only what is necessary. The balance is delicate, the pace slow, hypnotic, entrancing. Every organism, from the tiniest ammonite to the largest ichthyosaur, moves in harmony with its environment, each life a thread woven into the tapestry of the Jurassic Ocean. As the afternoon progresses, sunlight penetrates deeper, casting soft, shifting patterns beneath the waves. The water shimmers with motion. Currents ripple, small fish flash silver, floating algae sway, and distant plesiosaurs glide silently past. Occasional predators dart in short bursts, yet even these movements are part of the overall calm, a quiet rhythm that sustains the entire ecosystem. Along the shores, small reptiles bask on rocks, their skin glistening in the sunlight. Insects hover near the water's edge, interacting with the vegetation. Amphibians hop cautiously along tidal pools, exploring the margins where water and land meet. The gentle lapping of waves provides a continuous, soothing backdrop, a metronome for the natural world unfolding in perfect harmony. Look beneath the surface more closely. Tiny invertebrates crawl along the seabed, algae shift with the currents, and early fish navigate with subtle precision. Ammonites drift elegantly, their spiral shells catching shafts of sunlight. The ichthyosaurs, streamlined and purposeful, glide through the water in controlled, almost hypnotic movements. Each creature interacts with its environment, following instincts honed over millions of years. The ocean is not merely water. It is a living, breathing environment, vast and interconnected. Currents flow gently, shaping habitats, distributing nutrients, and creating microenvironments for smaller creatures. The rhythm of tides carries life across distances, connecting forests, plains, and open waters in a seamless, dynamic system. Waves break softly against rocky coasts, scattering light and sound, merging land and sea in perfect, slow-motion harmony. Consider the skies again. Pterosaurs wheel gracefully above the surface, their shadows flickering across the undulating waves. Birds, primitive yet elegant, skim close to the water, calling softly. The sun's reflection glitters and shifts as the waves roll, creating a living mosaic of light and motion. Every ripple, every shadow, every fleeting reflection contributes to the hypnotic flow of this afternoon in the Jurassic seas. In deeper waters, plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs navigate vast stretches of open ocean. Their movements are precise, each glide purposeful, yet calm and mesmerizing. Tiny creatures float or swim among plants and rocks, moving in a subtle dance with the currents. Light penetrates the waves in shifting patterns, illuminating textures, scales, and shells in delicate detail. Every glance, every shift in the water, every flick of a tail adds to the continuous rhythm of life beneath the sunlit waves. Notice the interplay between predator and prey. It is not frantic or violent, but calm, methodical, essential. Predators move with precision, stalking when necessary, while prey responds with awareness and gentle agility. The ocean itself seems to pulse with this balance, breathing through every motion, every current, every ripple. Along the coastal shallows, vegetation sways gently, responding to currents and wind. Crustaceans scuttle along the bottom, fish weave between plants, and amphibians explore the boundary where sea meets land. Waves lap softly against rocks and sand, creating a constant, calming rhythm. The sun begins to angle lower, casting long patterns of light through the water and across the shoreline. Imagine drifting with the water, feeling its gentle support, watching creatures large and small move with ease and grace. Ichthyosaurs glide past with barely perceptible ripples, plesiosaurs stretch their necks with elegant arcs, and ammonites float as if suspended in air. The rhythm of life continues, hypnotic, entrancing, perfectly balanced. Take a moment to breathe deeply, absorbing the warmth of the sun, the scent of salt and algae, the soft sounds of water and movement. Let your mind drift with the currents, following fish, reptiles, and the shadows of flying creatures overhead. Every element, every sound, every shimmer of light, every ripple in the water is part of an endless, calming pattern, guiding you deeper into the Jurassic afternoon, into a world untouched, eternal, and full of quiet life. As the sun continues its descent, the ocean shimmers with golden highlights, reflecting the slow movements of creatures both large and small. The tide pulls gently, shaping shorelines and sandbanks, creating spaces for small plants and animals. Waves whisper softly, carrying sounds across the water, blending with distant calls of pterosaurs and seabirds. In the deeper waters, the slow, hypnotic motions of marine reptiles dominate. Ichthyosaurs glide, plesiosaurs sweep their long necks through the currents, and schools of small fish move like living clouds. Algae sway, shells glint, and ammonites drift elegantly. The balance of predator and prey continues uninterrupted, a mesmerizing testament to life's adaptability and harmony. The afternoon wanes, shadows lengthen across coastal sands, rocks, and shallow reefs. Life continues, calm and deliberate. Waves lap softly, fish dart, birds and pterosaurs call gently, and underwater forests of algae and plants sway in quiet rhythm. Every movement is part of the hypnotic pattern of this ancient world, designed to soothe, immerse, and mesmerize. Take a long, slow breath. Feel the gentle warmth of the sun, the coolness of the water, the soft rhythm of waves and movement, and allow yourself to drift with the currents. This is the Jurassic Ocean, timeless, vast, alive, serene, and entirely untouched, yet profoundly harmonious. Every sound, every ripple, every flick of a tail carries the pulse of life across millions of years. As the sun begins its slow descent, the Jurassic Earth transforms. Golden light fades to soft amber, filtering through towering ferns and cycads, casting long, gentle shadows across the forest floor. The air cools slightly, carrying the scent of damp earth, vegetation, and distant seas. This is the moment when the day exhales and the night inhales, a delicate transition that has repeated countless times over millions of years. In the forest, creatures adjust to the waning light. Herbivorous dinosaurs move calmly toward shaded areas or riverbanks, grazing gently, their massive forms casting elongated silhouettes. Smaller reptiles and mammal-like creatures begin to stir, venturing cautiously from hiding spots to forage under the muted glow. Insects hum softly, their movements slower, as if acknowledging the approaching calm of night. The rivers and streams reflect the dimming light, turning to silver ribbons that wind through the landscape. Fish continue to glide beneath the surface, their scales catching the last hints of sunlight. Amphibians emerge, moving along banks and shallow pools, their soft movements harmonizing with the gentle ripple of water. The forest seems to pause, inhaling slowly, preparing for the nocturnal symphony about to unfold. Above, the sky shifts through a gradient of colors, amber fading to rose, then deep indigo. Clouds drift lazily, tinged with the softest hints of pink and purple. Pterosaurs and early birds retreat to roosts, their silhouettes delicate against the fading sky. Occasionally, one or two stretch wings or glide briefly before settling into the safety of trees or cliffs. The movement is sparse, measured, calming, perfectly in tune with the slowing rhythm of the day. On the plains, long shadows stretch across grass-like plants and shrubs. Sauropods stand silently, grazing in clusters, their massive forms casting patterns of light and dark across the land. Small theropods move cautiously along the edges, scanning for prey or shelter. Even predators adjust their movements, stalking slowly, deliberately, blending into the dimming environment. The landscape seems to exhale, entering a state of gentle, natural repose. In valleys and near rivers, subtle sounds begin to emerge, the soft splashes of fish leaping, the distant calls of amphibians, the rustle of leaves stirred by small mammals. Each sound is distinct yet intertwined, forming a gentle nocturnal rhythm. The earth itself seems to pulse softly, alive yet tranquil, creating an immersive lullaby for any observer. As night deepens, the first stars emerge. Tiny points of light shimmer through gaps in the canopy, scattered across the deepening blue of the sky. The Milky Way becomes visible, a faint, glowing river stretching endlessly, timeless, ancient. The constellations here would be unrecognizable to us, yet they provide the same quiet constancy, a celestial rhythm mirrored by the pulse of life below. Insects take prominence, their soft hums filling spaces previously dominated by the sounds of daytime creatures. Small reptiles and amphibians move with careful precision, hunting or foraging in the cover of darkness. Crickets, or their ancient analogues, chirp in slow, overlapping patterns, adding subtle texture to the nocturnal symphony. Occasionally, a distant roar of a nocturnal predator punctuates the quiet, not alarming but gently reminding all of the delicate balance that governs this world. Rivers glimmer under the light of the stars. Fish continue their nightly movements, weaving between shadows and currents. Early marine reptiles in shallow coastal waters glide silently, their sleek forms cutting through silvered waves. Along the shoreline, small creatures emerge cautiously, venturing from burrows to explore the edge between land and sea. The gentle lap of waves mingles with distant calls and the soft rustle of foliage, creating a continuous, immersive soundtrack of night. The forests deepen in shadow, each layer alive yet subdued. Tree ferns sway gently, casting intricate patterns across the ground. Small mammals forage quietly, insects drift in subtle arcs, and reptiles navigate branches with precise, unhurried movements. The combined hum of countless small lives forms a hypnotic rhythm, a meditation of existence in this prehistoric night. In more open areas, the plains under starlight appear tranquil, almost sacred. Sauropods move in slow lines, each step deliberate, each breath visible in the cooling air. Smaller herbivores and predators adjust to the dim light, moving quietly, conserving energy. The wind carries scents of soil, plants, and distant water, mingling with the sounds of life to create a serene, all-encompassing nocturnal environment. Notice the subtle interplay of moonlight or reflected sunlight from the distant horizon. Shadows stretch long, blending into darkness, creating a tapestry of shapes and textures. The subtle motions of every creature are illuminated softly, movements graceful and hypnotic. Every ripple in water, every sway of a leaf, every flicker of an insect's wings contributes to the calm, immersive rhythm of night. High above, the sky deepens further. Stars shimmer more brightly, constellations ancient and constant watching silently over the land. Occasional pterosaurs glide across the sky, their silhouettes fleeting, moving in gentle arcs that mirror the curve of the Milky Way. The balance between motion and stillness is delicate, creating a sense of profound calm. Along rivers and ponds, amphibians sing quietly. Small predators move with careful, almost reverent precision. Fish glide silently beneath the mirrored surface. Waves lap softly at shores, carrying subtle sounds across distances. The nocturnal world is alive yet peaceful, each element perfectly balanced, a living meditation of time and rhythm. The distant mountains cast deep shadows over valleys and plains. Volcanoes, long dormant during this particular night, stand like silent sentinels. The occasional plume of smoke or ash is unseen, leaving only the sense of ancient motion, a reminder of Earth's slow, constant change. Below, life continues in steady, hypnotic rhythm. Predators, prey, insects, amphibians, and dinosaurs all part of the same delicate, enduring system. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the cooling air, scented with damp earth, plants, and salt from distant seas. Hear the soft chorus of night, the rustle of ferns, the hum of insects, the distant calls of nocturnal dinosaurs, the gentle flow of water. Let these sounds carry you, immerse you, guiding your mind through a Jurassic night that is both timeless and serene. Near the coast, the ocean shimmers under starlight. Waves ripple gently, reflecting silver points of light. Ichthyosaurs glide silently, plesiosaurs move with subtle grace, and schools of small fish form shifting patterns, illuminated faintly by moonlight. Coastal insects and small reptiles move carefully along the edge, participating in the tranquil nocturnal rhythm. The ocean and land seem to breathe together, creating a continuous, immersive lullaby of life. In forests and plains, shadows deepen. Trees sway gently in the night breeze. Mammals scuttle cautiously, insects drift in arcs, and small dinosaurs move quietly under the cover of darkness. Every sound, movement, and shimmer of light contributes to the hypnotic nocturnal symphony. You are a silent observer, fully immersed, part of this world yet peacefully detached, drifting through time and space. The Milky Way stretches overhead, mirrored faintly in river surfaces. Stars pulse softly, ancient and constant. The cool air carries scents and sounds across forests, plains, and oceans. Life moves with quiet deliberation, each organism aware, adaptive, yet calm. The night deepens, shadows grow longer, and the rhythm of the Jurassic Earth slows, soothing, hypnotic, eternal. As the night continues, you feel yourself drifting alongside the world. Rivers flowing, leaves rustling, waves lapping, insects humming, dinosaurs breathing slowly. Everything moves in deliberate harmony. The world exhales and you exhale with it, carried gently through a night untouched, primordial, serene. Take one last deep breath. Listen to the calm symphony, the distant roar of a nocturnal predator, the soft splash of a fish, the whisper of wind through ferns, the gentle lapping of waves. Let the rhythm guide you, immerse you, and carry you into peaceful slumber. The Jurassic night continues endlessly, timeless, serene, and profoundly alive. As the darkness of the Jurassic night slowly recedes, the first hints of dawn stretch across the horizon. A faint golden glow begins to illuminate the forest, reflecting softly on the leaves and fronds. Mist rises gently from the riverbanks, curling around the bases of towering cycads and ferns, giving the landscape a dreamlike quality. The air carries the crisp scent of dew-soaked soil, mingled with the subtle fragrances of prehistoric plants. Bird-like creatures stir softly in the trees, stretching wings and calling with gentle, melodic notes. The forest floor begins to awaken as small mammals and reptiles emerge cautiously from burrows and hidden crevices. Amphibians hop quietly into shallow pools, and insects lift from leaf to leaf, their delicate wings catching the early sunlight. Every movement is slow, deliberate, almost ceremonial, as the world transitions from the stillness of night into the first moments of day. Across the plains, herds of herbivorous dinosaurs slowly rise, stretching limbs and necks as they prepare to feed once more. Sauropods extend their long necks to reach the tender leaves glistening with morning dew. Stegosaurs shift in clusters, grazing gently, while small theropods emerge cautiously, scanning the landscape for both prey and opportunity. The rhythm of life resumes, steady and eternal, as if rehearsed over millions of years. The ocean shimmers faintly under the rising sun, waves catching the light in soft sparkles. Ichthyosaurs glide beneath the surface, their sleek bodies reflecting hints of gold from the water above. Plesiosaurs lift long necks gracefully, breaking the surface to observe their surroundings. Schools of fish dart and swirl, forming fleeting shapes that seem choreographed by nature itself. The coastal shoreline awakens slowly, with small crustaceans, amphibians, and insects moving along the water's edge, participating in the morning ritual of life. In the mountains and valleys, light stretches across rocky cliffs, illuminating hidden crevices where small creatures scuttle quietly. Predators awaken with a measured grace, observing the land for movement and opportunity, but the pace remains calm, deliberate. Shadows retreat as the sun climbs higher, revealing textures, colors, and subtle details of the landscape. Scales glinting, leaves shimmering, water rippling softly. The forest canopy fills with light, creating patterns on the ground below. Sunlight filters through the leaves in shifting mosaics, highlighting ferns, cycads, and other Jurassic flora. The forest hums with gentle life. Insects buzz softly, reptiles scuttle, and dinosaurs move with a slow, purposeful rhythm. The entire world feels synchronized, each element perfectly aligned with the daily cycle, every heartbeat of the planet echoed in the movement of its inhabitants. Along rivers and streams, life flourishes anew. Fish dart beneath calm waters, while amphibians leap energetically, celebrating the return of sunlight. Birds and pterosaurs take to the air, gliding across the sky with smooth, unhurried motion. The morning is a gentle reminder that the cycle of life continues, uninterrupted and eternal, as day succeeds night and nature unfolds in continuous, harmonious rhythm. Herbivorous dinosaurs begin grazing more confidently in open plains, their large forms moving with a hypnotic grace. The subtle tremor of their steps resonates across the earth, a reminder of scale and presence. Smaller creatures move around them, cautious yet persistent, thriving in the safety and rhythm provided by the massive giants. Predators observe with patience, choosing moments with precision, demonstrating the balance that has allowed this world to endure for millions of years. The sky above grows increasingly bright. Wisps of clouds reflect delicate hues of pink and orange, adding depth and texture to the morning light. The Milky Way fades, leaving the blue vastness of day. Pterosaurs glide overhead, their wings catching sunlight in fleeting glimmers. The interplay of light and shadow emphasizes the contours of the landscape and the creatures moving through it, creating a living, breathing canvas of prehistoric life. In the deeper oceans, currents flow with renewed vigor, carrying nutrients and life throughout the waters. Ichthyosaurs, plesiosaurs, and schools of fish continue their graceful movements, seamlessly integrated into the rhythm of the morning. Algae sway gently with the tide, and ammonites drift elegantly, their spiral shells catching glimmers of the sun. Even beneath the waves, the cycle of day and night guides behavior, shaping life in synchrony with the planetary rhythm. The plains, forests, and mountains all respond to the dawn. Light illuminates previously hidden textures, veins of leaves, scales of dinosaurs, ripples on water, and the fine patterns of soil and rocks. Every detail is accentuated, each movement contributing to the hypnotic, meditative atmosphere. The Jurassic world awakens fully, yet maintains its calm, deliberate pace, a delicate harmony of motion and stillness. Along the shoreline, morning mist rises in soft columns, catching the sunlight and creating ethereal rays across the sand and rocks. Amphibians and small reptiles explore the edges, insects drift lazily, and gentle waves lap the coast. The rhythm of life continues, unbroken and eternal, as the morning sun ushers in another day, each organism participating in the same slow, hypnotic dance that has existed for millions of years. As the day unfolds, notice the interactions of creatures once more. Herbivores graze while remaining alert, predators watch with measured calm, and smaller animals navigate microhabitats with deliberate movements. The balance remains intact, a living testament to the efficiency and harmony of Jurassic ecosystems. High above, the sky is now fully illuminated. Clouds drift lazily across the vast expanse, casting temporary shadows that shift gently across the landscape. The sun climbs higher, illuminating details of prehistoric plants and animals in a golden glow. The forest, plains, mountains, and oceans are interconnected, a seamless tapestry of life. Every movement, every sound, every shimmer of light reflects the cyclical nature of existence. Take a slow, deep breath. Let the sounds, scents, and sights of this Jurassic morning immerse you fully. Feel the warmth of sunlight, the gentle sway of plants, the rhythmic movements of animals, and the soft ripple of water. Allow yourself to be carried through this moment, recognizing that life is eternal, cycles repeat, and the harmony of the prehistoric world continues beyond your observation. The forest floor hums softly with insect activity. Mammals scurry cautiously, amphibians leap gracefully, and reptiles navigate the underbrush. Small dinosaurs move with quiet precision, herding together in patterns that ensure safety and sustenance. Even the largest creatures, moving slowly across plains or near rivers, contribute subtly to the ecosystem, their presence harmonizing with every smaller life form. The ocean mirrors the land's renewal. Ichthyosaurs glide beneath sun-dappled waves, plesiosaurs stretch long necks in elegant arcs, and schools of fish scatter and regroup with gentle precision. Waves roll onto sandy shores in rhythmic patterns, blending with distant calls of coastal creatures. The morning is a symphony of life, slow, deliberate, hypnotic, and endlessly fascinating. As sunlight fully bathes the Jurassic world, the morning becomes a celebration of continuity. From the smallest insect to the largest dinosaur, each life moves deliberately, contributing to the timeless cycle of day and night. The earth, oceans, plains, forests, and mountains are interconnected in a perfect rhythm, each moment echoing countless mornings before and countless to come. Take one last long breath. Feel the pulse of life across every corner of this ancient world, from rivers and oceans to forests and plains. The cycle continues, eternal and unbroken, a hypnotic, immersive reminder that life on Earth has persisted for millions of years and will endure beyond imagination. The Jurassic morning is alive, serene, and timeless, a perfect closure to the day, a meditation on existence, and a gentle guide toward calm and restful reflection. As the sun fully rises over the Jurassic landscape, the world hums gently with life, every creature moving in quiet harmony. From the tallest dinosaurs grazing on treetops to the smallest fish gliding beneath sunlit waters, the cycle of existence continues, endless and serene. Take a deep breath and feel the calm of this ancient world, the rhythm of life that has persisted for millions of years. The forests, plains, mountains, and oceans exist in perfect balance, a timeless dance of nature that invites you to rest, reflect, and simply be. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Jurassic period. May the memory of this ancient world stay with you, guiding your thoughts, your dreams, and your sense of wonder.